Hello everybody, this is Pastor Green. We're doing a Bible study, Matthew chapter 1. If you'd like me to come speak at your church, or if you have any questions, you can send me an email. If you have questions, you can always comment below. I added this on here because a lot of people are watching my videos and they're not liking or commenting. Make sure you go ahead and like and subscribe, click the notification bell. Please comment on my video, even if you just give me a hey, thank you, smiley face, whatever. And that way the algorithm will help me promote this video. So we're talking about Matthew, which is going to be talking about Jesus. And all throughout the internet and online, you see all these things about Jesus. And, videos like Jesus never existed. This one right here talks about Jesus never existed, Caesar's Messiah theater portrayal. And this guy right here says why I think Jesus didn't exist. This one's 10 Christian myths that show Jesus never existed at all. This says Jesus isn't real, get over it. Book here says Jesus never existed. Jesus Christ, a pagan myth, evidence that Jesus never existed. This one says 10 Christian myths that Jesus never existed. Jesus never existed. This one here says prove Jesus never existed. There's all these different videos talking about Jesus never existed because Jesus is the cornerstone of Christianity. First of all, secular history says that Jesus existed, but the problem is that they don't want to prove that he died and rose again, because that would mean that he's something different than another human, and that would mean that Christianity is true. You can see here when an atheist says, why believe in Jesus when all these things are fairy tales? Jesus died by crucifixion. The disciples convinced he was rose from the dead. Paul became a Christian. James became a Christian. The tomb was empty. These are all facts, but atheists don't want to believe that. Hebrews 11 says, but without faith it is impossible to please him. For he that cometh to God must believe that he is, and he is a rewarder of them that diligently seek him. By faith Noah, being warned of God of things not seen as yet, moved with fear, prepared his ark to save in his house, by which they condemn into the world and become heirs of the righteousness which is by faith. You see, Noah told people it's going to rain. They probably never seen rain before. The Bible talks about how the water comes up from the ground. So these people probably never seen rain before. And so they're thinking, Noah's a kook. Why would you say it's going to rain if that's never happened before? Let alone, why is it going to rain so much it's going to kill everybody? They thought Noah was crazy. It says by faith Adam, when he was called to go out to the place which he should have received for the inheritance, obeyed, and he went out not knowing whither he went. God told Abraham to go to this place you've never seen before, and I'm going to make you a great nation. And he did it by faith and obeyed him. So in Matthew 1, we talk about the book of genealogies of Jesus Christ. It says Matthew 1, verse 1, the book of the generations of Jesus Christ, the son of David, the son of Abraham. Abraham begot Isaac, and Isaac begot Jacob, and Jacob begot Judas and his brethren. Jesus divides history. It says in John that basically Jesus created everything, and everything that was in him was created. So he's there for creation. Obviously, Jesus was there for the flood. God told Noah, come into the ark, meaning that God was already inside the ark. And of course, we have Jesus. He lived on earth. He died and was rose again. And then today, we still worship Jesus for what he did. So Abraham was the first one mentioned here. Well, technically Noah was the first one mentioned, but through Abraham, we get the Jewish line. And if you look on here, this is a chart here that shows you how long people lived. And you can see Noah right there on the top of the screen. And there's Abraham down here. Abraham could have known Noah. Noah lived long enough that Abraham might have known him. Abraham could have talked to Noah and got all the information about the ark. Here's Abraham's line. There's Abraham there, and there's Judah down here. Judah's the line of Jesus. There's Tamar, and there's Perez. The next verse says in verse 3, and Judah begot Perez, and Zerah the Tamar, and Perez begot Abram, and Abram begot Aram, and Aram begot Abinadab, and Abinadab begot Naasson, and Naasson begot Solomon. In Deuteronomy 23, it says, the bastard child shall not enter the congregation of the Lord, even to his 10th generation shall he not enter the congregation of the Lord. And Ammonite and Moabite shall not enter the congregation of the Lord, even to the 10th generation shall they not enter into the congregation of the Lord forever. It's basically saying that if you have an offense that's so bad that God sees it as an offense, it will take 10 generations for you to basically be a king. Now look at this. Verse 3. And Judah begot Pharez, that's 1. And Zerah of Tamar, and Pharez begot Ishram, that's number 2. And Ishram begot Aram, number 3. And Aram begot Idinadad, number 4. And Idinadad begot Naasson, which is 5. And Naasson begot Solomon, which is 6. And Solomon begot Boaz, 7. Of Rechoth, and Boaz begot Obed of Ruth, and Obed begot Jesse. And Jesse began David, number 10, the king. And David's king's son begot Solomon, that should have been the ruler of Aras. So, because the first person created this horrible sin, he couldn't have a king in his line until the 10th generation. And as we know, the 10th generation was David, and we all know all about King David. You can see here's Judah and his wife. And there's and Onan and Tamar. And here's the Perez, Solomon, Boaz, King David, Solomon, all the way down to Yeshua. And Solomon begot Robab, and Robab begot Abad, and Abad begot Asa, and Asa begot Jehoshaphat, and Jehoshaphat begot Joram, and Joram begot Oas, and Oas begot Jotham, and Jotham begot Achaz, and Achaz begot Echias, and Echias begot Manasseh, and Manasseh begot Ammon, and Ammon begot Joas. And Joas begot Jedidias and brethren about the time they were carried away to Babylon. And after that they were brought to Babylon, Jeconias of Salhath, and Salhath begot Zerubbabel, and Zerubbabel begot Ubadad, and Ubadad begot Eklam, and Eklam begot Ozar. I highlighted about the time they were carried to Babylon because the genealogy breaks it up from before and after. And Azar begot Sokak, and Sokak begot Eklam, and Eklam begot Ulad, and Ulad begot Eleazar, and Eleazar begot Matham, and Matham begot Jacob, and Jacob begot Joseph, the husband of Mary, who was born of Jesus, who was called Christ. Now notice here I highlighted Jacob begot Joseph, the husband of Mary, not the father of Jesus, because Joseph had no part in Jesus' birth. God came on to Mary then conceived, and Joseph had no part of that. So it had to be the husband of Mary. And if you look here at this verse, it says, Matthew 1:16, the 16th verse, the first chapter of the Gospel of Matthew in the New Testament. The verse is the final part of the section that traces the genealogy of Joseph, the father of Jesus. See that right there? That's not true. Joseph was not the father of Jesus. He might have been a stepfather. Let's look at Luke 2:33. It says in the King James Version, and Joseph and his mother, talking about Jesus' mother. But the NIV says the child's father. Was Joseph Jesus' father? Not if you believe the virgin birth. If Mary was a virgin, then Joseph can't be the child's father. Let's look here. Jesus at age 12, and Joseph and his mother, which is talking about Joseph and Jesus' mother. The English Standard Version says, and his father and his mother. Well, Joseph is not Jesus' father, he's a stepfather, and Mary would be his mother. Look here again, and Joseph and his mother. The New Living Translation said Jesus' parents. Well, again, Joseph is not Jesus' father, he's his stepfather. He was conceived because Mary was a virgin. This one right here, the Holman Christian Standard Bible, says his father and mother. Again, that's not true. Let's go ahead and look at another one. The American Standard Version says his father and his mother. Again, not true. Let's look at another one. The CEV, the Contemporary English Version. Jesus' parents. Again, not true. Matthew 1:17. So all the generations from Abraham to David are 14 generations. And from David until the carrying away to Babylon are 14 generations. And from the carrying away to Babylon to Christ are 14 generations. Now the birth of Christ was on the wise, and his mother Mary was espoused to Joseph. Before they came together, she was found with child of the Holy Ghost. This is saying right here, Joseph and Mary was never intimate. The book of Isaiah prophesied Jesus' birth. It says here in Isaiah 7:10, moreover the Lord spoke again to Ahaz, saying, ask thee a sign of the Lord thy God, either in the depth or in the height above. But Ahaz says, I will not ask, neither will I tempt the Lord. And he said, hear me now, O house of David. It is a small thing for you to weary men, but it will weary my God also. Therefore, The Lord himself shall give you a sign. Behold, a virgin shall conceive and bear a son, and his name shall be called Emmanuel. So it's saying here in Isaiah that a virgin is going to give birth. So Joseph can't be his father because Mary had to be a virgin. Matthew 1:19. And Joseph, her husband, being just a man, not willing to make her a public example, was minded to put her away privily. But while he thought on these things, behold, an angel of the Lord appeared to him in a dream, saying, Joseph, thou art son of David, fear not, and take to thee Mary thy wife, for what is conceived in her is the Holy Ghost. You see, Joseph probably thought that Mary cheated on him, but no, the angel came and told Joseph, this is of God. This is not anything bad. Joseph was going to divorce her privately. Well, he wasn't married yet, but he was going to put her away privately until the angel said, no, Joseph, this is from the Lord. And it says here, and she shall bring forth a son, and thou shalt call his name Jesus, for he shall save his people from their sins. He's saying Mary will bring forth a child. Not you both, Mary will. And you're going to call his name Jesus, for he's going to save his people from their sins. Now all this was done that it might be fulfilled that was spoken by the Lord by the prophet, saying, and it goes back to Isaiah, behold, a virgin shall be with child, and shall bring forth a son, and they shall call his name Emmanuel, which is interpreted, God with us. Then Joseph, being raised from sheep, did as the angel of the Lord had bidden him, and took him to be his wife, and knew her not until she had brought forth her firstborn son, and called his name Jesus. It's saying here that after Jesus was born, then Joseph and Mary conceived, or not conceived, they it was intimate. They did their marriage duty, and they were intimate with each other. So you have all these different videos talking about Mary was a virgin until she died. Mostly the Catholics were going to say this. This right here says 5 reasons Mary was a perpetual virgin. Again, the Bible doesn't say that. Another the perpetuity of Virgin of Mary. Was Mary a virgin? Not according to the Bible. So all these pictures are showing her with a halo on her head, and she's supposed to be worshipped, but the Bible doesn't say that. See, the Queen of Heaven, the Blessed Mother, talking about the Virgin Mary. Matthew 12 says, and while he talked to the people, behold, his mother and his brethren stood without, desiring to speak with him. And one said to him, behold, thy mother and thy brethren stand without, desiring to speak with thee. So Matthew 12 says that Jesus had brothers. Luke 8 says, they came to him, his mother and his brethren, and could not come to him for the press. And it was told by certain which said, thy mother and thy brother stand without, desiring to sit thee. Luke says he had brothers as well. Mark 6, is this not the carpenter, the son of Mary, and the brother of James and Joseph, Judah and Simon? Are not his sisters here with us? Are they offended at him? Well, Mark 6 is saying not only does he have brothers, but he also has sisters. 2 Thessalonians says, and that which the wicked shall be revealed, for whom the Lord shall consume with the spirit of his mouth, and shall destroy with the brightness of his coming, even him whose coming is after the working of Satan with all power and signs and lying wonders. It's saying that Satan's going to try to confuse us and try to make us not believe what the Bible really says. And with all deceitfulness and unrighteousness in them that perish, because they receive not the love of the truth, that they may be saved. And for this cause God shall send them strong delusions, that they should believe a lie, that they might be damned, and who believe in the truth have pleasure of unrighteousness. Well, guys, that's the video. I appreciate you guys watching. Again, make sure you hit that subscribe, click the notification bell, like the video, and comment. And it could be anything. Thumbs up, thank you. You can ask a question, smiley face, whatever you want to do. But that's really going to help me out, and I appreciate that. I'm going to put a couple links on the screen. The bottom right is going to be the Matthew Bible study. The top left is going to be the Luke Bible study. And the bottom left is going to be a video YouTube thinks you're going to like. I appreciate you guys watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Have a great day.